Skinny Harder Way Southern T, back with another EP. And y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Greatly appreciate you sliding through. Let me say what's up to the people in the building. First things first. What's good? Boxing MMA 365. Appreciate you sliding through. Boxing MMA. It's Show Day, baby. It's Show Day. It's plus 550 day, baby. What's good, Boxing? Appreciate you sliding through this, man. Glad you can make it, King. Shout out about Boxing. Man, you supposed to be TWT. I don't know. I feel TWT when I speak to you. But anyway, I digress, right? Shout out my girl, Cassandra. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Cassandra. I always drop the flames for the queen. So that's what I'm going to do, as I always. I don't know what they told you, but around here at Southern T, man, we appreciate the queens. We appreciate you sliding through this thing. But today, man, yes, that is not a typo. That ain't supposed to say million, right? Exactly what they word say. That's exactly what it's supposed to say. $8.3 billion. Say it with me, y'all. Say it with me slowly, y'all. $8.3 billion, man. That's ridiculous. Like when I first saw it, right, I had to double back and look at it, right? I had to double back and check it. Like, hold on, let me make sure that I'm reading this shit right. Because maybe it's supposed to be. What's good, Ray? What's good, Ray? Appreciate you slapping. Right, it's the same thing I said. Damn. I said, let me look at this shit again, because maybe it's supposed to be million, right? And nah, that thing said 8.3 billion. Now people make jokes and shit, right? Right, Cassandra. So people make jokes and shit all the time, right? Eddie Hearn, the worst promoter. Man, Eddie Hearn losing DAZN all that money, right? We always make those jokes. And I know it's some truth to it, right? But like when you actually see the number, right? When you actually able to put a number on it, right? When you actually like see it, like I be saying, I be telling folks it's one thing to know something. I mean, it's one thing to think something, right? And it's a whole nother thing, like when you know something, right? We all make jokes and stuff like, our zone, going out of business, DAZN USA flop, Eddie Hearn, the worst promoter, all that funny shit, that we like to make jokes about. And then I run across this article, you know what I mean? And they tell me that DAZN Boxing has lost motherfucking 8.3 billion. My first question, right? Y'all want to know my first question was? My first question on it is, where in the hell did they get billions of dollars from like that? What's good, Kirk? I'm putting everybody comments on the screen from today forward. Everybody getting their comments put on the screen. What's good, Kirk? What in the hell, right? What in the hell? Where in the hell did they get $8.3 million to even blow in the first place? What's good, Josh? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. TWT in the bed. Like, where did they even? What's good, Sean Clark? Appreciate you sliding through this, John Sean. Glad you can make it, pimp. Glad you can make it. Where in the hell did they even get? That was my first question, right? 8.3 billion. Let me make sure this ain't supposed to be million. And then my second question was, wait, where the hell did they even get $8.3 billion from? Who believed in DAZN like that? Or who believed in the DAZN owners like that to give them to dish out $8.3 billion? Bro, 2016, right? So let's count the years real quick. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on there. What's good, GG Champ? Appreciate you sliding through. He said early morning grind. You know it, my G. I gotta get it, man. Everybody getting up going to work, G. I'm at work right now. When y'all see me go live, maybe that's me at work, man. Y'all done seen me here for 2.5 years. Y'all know Southern T ain't never had no job. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know Southern T live alone. You know what I mean? Y'all see Southern T getting them cars and shit. It ain't paying for itself. I be telling people, man, I got a bunch of different I'm an entrepreneur. I got a bunch of different jobs. And I gotta work all of them so they come together so I can keep shit afloat. So when y'all see me on this young grinding, that's because I'm at work as well. That's why, I keep it a certain way up here. That's why I'm a little more lenient up here. You know what I mean? But anyway, I digress, right? Appreciate you sliding through this, John GG champ. Glad you could make it, pimp. If y'all could jab that thumbs up for your boy, whether here for a good time or a long time. But right, like when I first ran across, and I'm gonna read the article to y'all verbatim, right? But when I first ran across this article, I was like, nah, I know that can't be 8.3 billion. I said, you know what that is, billion? I said, now where the hell did they even get $8.3 billion from? Who is issuing out $8.3 billion to these people? And where the hell did they get it from? And why would you put $8.3 billion in something and you see it declining? Like, how did you even get to $8.3 billion worth of losing? I would have figured after you lost the maybe right the first billion, right? I would have thought maybe when you lose the first billion, maybe you would, find something else to do. You'll find a different route. You know what I mean? Not lose 7 more billion. You know what I mean? Not lose 7 more of them things. You get what I'm saying? Like that. That is what's wild to me. You get what I'm saying? Sean Clark said, "Yeah, 8 billion, crazy as hell." Hold on, let me put that thing up there. Sean Clark said, "Yeah, 8 billion, crazy as hell. Some of it might be debt, slash losses they reported to." Matter of fact, Sean, we ain't even got to speculate, Sean. I'm finna go to the article for y'all. We finna go and get into it because it's an article to this, right? It's always it's always a method to my madness. And what I like doing is I like seeing this stuff, right? But I don't like reading them. Like when I do the interviews, I don't look at the interviews first. I like to do it live so we can all get our first reaction, right? So we can get that fresh first reaction. So let me go and get to this thing so we can see exactly what this thing talking about verbatim. Because I haven't read it and I'm interested to read it. But yes, since 2016. What's good, Jazz? Appreciate you sliding through this young queen. Glad you can make it. Let me drop the flames for the queens, like I always do. Cause y'all know we love the queens around here at Southern T. Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all hit that thumbs up. Speaking of queens, look, I started talking about queens, and then we get more queens just dropping in. Let me say it again. Queens, queens, queens. Appreciate you sliding through this junk quick. Glad you can make it, queen. Glad you can make it. TWT is in the building. Quick. Queen, quick. Appreciate you sliding through this thing quick. Glad you can make it. Coastal Boxing, where you been, G? Hope you been keeping everything right too for that border war. Shout out my guy Coastal Boxing. What's good, Eddie? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. TWT in the building. What's good, Coastal? We in this thing having a boxing conversation, man. Just to catch y'all up real quick. The DAZN Boxing has lost 8.3 billion, not million. Yes, you read that right. Just like I had to make sure I read that right. The DAZN Boxing has lost $8.3 billion since 2016. Let's count the years real quick, y'all. Right? 8.3. I had two questions. Why would you invest $8.3 billion into something that's failing? You should have stopped after the first billion loss, right? You should stop after the first 800 million loss. You should have stopped after the first 500 million loss. At some point, when you start stacking up $1 million losses, you should have stopped. But these people went and stacked up $1 billion losses. How does that even happen? The second question is, who in the hell has $8.3 billion to even give these people, right? But I digress. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all jab that thumbs up for your boy. Yeah, Costa. That's what everybody's saying, Costa. Costa, that's what everybody's saying. Damn. Literally. Damn. Watch this. Look. I ain't playing. That's exactly what I said when I first saw it, bro. Damn. That's all you can say, right? But let's count the years real quick, right? Let's count the years. And my third question is, right, how do you lose $8.3 billion? And let's count the years. 2016, right? 2017 is 1 year. 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's 8 years, bro. Sus, this man, y'all, let's do the math. This man was able to lose $1 billion a year. Bro, how do you lose $1 billion a year? Who is out here shuffling $8 billion a year to the zone? How do you lose $1 billion a year? Man, that's crazy. I got 15 people in the building. Can I get everybody in the building to hit that thumbs up for your boy? Let YouTube know that we live. Let YouTube know that we cooking. Let YouTube know that we doing a good job. Help your boy getting that algo bright and early. Appreciate everybody waking up with me. We in this thing having us a boxing talk. There was something that was interesting to me. I wanted to rap with it about y'all, to see if y'all thought it was interesting, man. Because we make jokes all the time about Eddie Hearn in DAZN. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn, being the worst promoter, DAZN losing money, right? Them going out of business in the USA, right? But I got to say it, right? It's one thing to think something. It's another thing to really know it, right? So when you see the number actually, for itself, it look crazy. And then when you do the math, that since 2016 is 2023. That's $1 billion per year in losses, right? But let me catch back up in the chat. He said, I know DAZN massive around the world. They have soccer league deals. In most countries, they gotta have fools running the company, right, bro? Like, how do you lose $1 billion per year? $8.3 billion since 2016. That's $1 billion a year. It's a goddamn insane. Absolutely disgusting by people in there. Man. Eddie Hearn's probably lost half that money by itself. He's out of here. DAZN cut 60% off their staff in the UK. So how the hell did Eddie Hearn and DAZN make the cut? You know what I mean? Key Hype was good. Key Hype. Appreciate you sliding through this, John Brody. Glad you could make it. Y'all do your boy a favor, whether you're here for a good time or a long time. Can y'all smash that thumbs up for your boy? Let YouTube know that we live. Let YouTube know that we cooking. Really appreciate you sliding through. Quick. My thoughts exactly. Somebody got to be okay, but my guy said they cut 60% of the staff, so maybe they fired all the bad apples, right? Maybe this is why they cut 60% of the staff, because they lost 8.3 million. They're losing $1 billion a year. See, lawsuits, overpaying fights. It got to be some foolishness involved with losing $8 billion. Sean, a nigga, right, Sean? If a nigga spend $100, right? If a nigga spend more than $100 a day, you go cut yourself off somewhere, right? If you honestly, like if you spend more than $100 a day on BS, right? Not taking care of no business, right? But if you see yourself spending money unnecessarily, at some point before you reach your limit, bro, you go cut yourself off. I want to know who limit was $8 billion. who had a if I get up around 100, 150, 200, 250 on bullshit, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, okay, bro, nah, that's some bullshit. You need to figure out what's going on. Who budget was $8 billion? That's what I want to know. Who had the $8 billion? Who was like, okay, man, that's $8 billion, man. That's enough. That's enough, man. Actually, it's 8 billion, 8.3 billion. You know what I mean? Wow. That must be nice. Dog. What's good, new fat boy? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, new fat boy. If y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy. Really appreciate you sliding through. I know y'all be getting to the grind and everything, but I want to appreciate y'all for stopping in and giving your boy some of your time. We go read this article in just a second, but I'm just talking to y'all. Really, I'm asking y'all now, like, how the hell did this happen? Like, what business? Like, let's just say that y'all run DAZN, right? Let's just say you run DAZN. Is at what point, right? I think my cutoff point would have been right around, 3, 4, 500 million. You know what I'm saying? By the time I got the 800 million, matter of fact, I wouldn't even got the 800 million, bro. I'm not investing 800 million. I'm not investing 3 more million in something that lost me 5. You know what I mean? Once I would have started getting the 1, I would have had my antennas up. Once I got the 3, I would have been done with that shit. Fuck that. I know how to do what I am. Is I'm wondering what that tax write-off look like, though. Quick. Man, good question. Good question, sis. For them to still be in business, right? Quick. Where is that money coming from, dog? 8.3 billion? That's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Dude, what's good, man? TWT in the building. Glad you can make it, pimp. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, family. We in this thing having us a boxing conversation, dude. Not long to that, bro. Not only is he giving that shit away, dude, but per year, this is since 2016, dude. Per year, these people have found a way. This is an all-time This is an all-time high. This is an all-time new creative way to blow to fuck up some commas. Y'all know Future song fuck up some commas. Fuck up some commas, yeah. This is a new. This takes fuck up some commas to a new level. $1 billion per year. We just did the math from 2016 to 2023. That's 8 years. This and then really ain't even been a full year. It's not a full year. It's really been 7 full years, y'all. 23 just started. That man lost like $1.2 billion a year, like $1.188 a year, bro. Sissies, bros. That man lost like 1.2 billion a year. How do you do that? Is how do you allow a company? There were but like I'm blown. And who has 8.3 million to invest in the company that's losing? How do you got that to lose, bro? Somebody somewhere out here had 8.3 billion to lose messing with DAZN. And they still in business. That's where the text right out. Don't know just come in and play everywhere like that, man. 45 does with his Texas. Dog, that's wild. I'm about to read this article in seconds and motherfuckers running around talking about Showtime PBC, bro. These narratives be taking the life of their own. And Sean, you just said something. You want to know why they run around talking about the PBC broke and the PBC going out of business? Because it's called a diversion. It's called a distraction. It's called reflecting, right? It's called mirroring. It's called shadowing. You know what I mean? Because they know that they going out of business, so they gotta constantly say that somebody else. Just like when somebody know they shit ain't right, they'll keep trying to run around and tell everybody else that everybody else shit ain't right. You know what I mean? So people won't realize that they shit ain't right. You know, when people running around, causing confusion, trying to get, when people running around causing confusion, trying to stir a mess, you know what I'm saying? Or when somebody wants you to hate somebody that they hate, right? Because they know they shit ain't right. So they want you to think that they shit ain't right over there, so you don't pay attention to them and realize that it's them who shit ain't right. That's what DAZN doing to the PBC right now. That's what all of them doing to the PBC. Y'all want to notice something real quick? And of course, my video is limited, and I ain't even been on that long, but my video is limited. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this request review right here, and I'm gonna keep the show going because YouTube with this shit, man. But anyway, man, I digress, right? I digress. D Free was good. Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it, pimp. TWT in the building. Maybe if I talk enough shit about somebody else, people won't realize my shit stink. You know what I mean? You know how they go, right? Maybe if I talk about somebody else, people won't realize my shit stink. But I digress. He said they could stop world starvation with that much money, right? DS, and we was gonna get there. After I read the article, we was gonna get to that. That's really what I'm saying. Who got 8.3 billion? You know what you could do with 8.3 billion? D Free. DAZN lost. This is DAZN as a whole, I'm guessing. It's DAZN as a whole that I'm guessing. But I'm about to read the article. I'm pretty sure it's DAZN as a whole. Ain't no way they gave Eddie Hearn alone 8.3 million. Ain't no way they gave Eddie Hearn 8.3 million. But I'm about to get into it. Deflection and projection. Facts. We about to get into it. I'm pretty sure it's as a whole though. He's an upstart sports streaming service. DAZN lost 2.3 billion in 2021. So they actually lost 2.3 billion dollars in 2021. That's how the article started off. It didn't say boxing. It just said DAZN. It just said DAZN. Upstart sports streaming service DAZN. So that's all the sports as a whole. Lost 2.3 billion in 2021, according to a report published by Bloomberg on Wednesday. The DAZN CEO Shay Sagev, Shay Sagev, Shay Sagev, Shagiv, Shay Shagiv told Bloomingdale the chief reason was due to his $1.9 billion commitment to the acquire the Italy and German soccer rights around Bunsendella in the Series A. So basically, they bought two soccer teams. That's what they saying. They spent 1.9 billion in 2021 to buy a soccer team, right? So that accounts for 2 million of the $8.3 million debt. Those two soccer teams, right? So effectively, right, we could take off 2 million from that. So they lost 6.3 million, right? They bought a soccer team, right? So we at least we know if that money went, right? So that answers our question, right? What the hell did you do with it, right? So we know what they did with a portion of that. They bought a soccer team with they took $2 million and bought a soccer team, right? So I'm finna continue. Bloomberg indicated that the figures they reported were accounts shared with the media company by DAZN. DAZN is backed by billionaire Lee Blatavanik. Lean Blatavanik. DAZN is backed by billionaire Lean Blatavanik. So that answers the questions on where the money came from. You know what I mean? This answered the question on what the money came from, right? They're backed by billionaire Lean Blatavanik. Lean Blatavanik must got that motherfucking bread. That nigga buying soccer teams and he investing in badass design, right? But I digress, right? Lean Blatavanik and one of his top players in boxing, providing the sports a platform to present its live events. The Zone flagship content in the United States is primarily centered around boxing. Boxing promoter Golden Boy and Matchroom have exclusive deals with the streaming service. So now we know why they losing money. Now we know why they losing money because of Golden Boy, which is a company that works for the Zone and Matchroom. No, I'm just playing. Let me finish that, right? It said boxing promoters Golden Boy and Matchroom have exclusive deals with the streaming service. Matchroom signed an 8-year, $1 billion deal with DAZN in May 2018. So Matchroom, which is Eddie Hearn, right? Eddie Hearn had $1 billion deal. So Eddie Hearn had $1 billion. So Eddie Hearn is only responsible, right? Well, I ain't gonna say he's only responsible for losing the million, but his budget was $1 billion, right? A billion, my bad. But his budget was $1 billion, right? So Eddie Hearn's budget was $1 billion. In October 2018, DAZN signed Canelo Alvarez to a 10-fight, $350 million deal. So they gave Eddie Hearn $1 billion, and he gave $350 million to Canelo Alvarez. But after 3 fights into his contract in 2020, Alvarez became a free agent when he was released from his Golden Boy and DAZN contracts. So they gave him $350 million for 8 years, and Canelo only fought 3 of those years. So Canelo got away with an extra 5 years worth of bread from DAZN. Damn it, man. That's wild. Hold on. My bad, yo. My bad. Y'all got 21 people in the building. Can I get all 21 of y'all to smash that like button for your boy? 22 people in the building. I got 22 likes. If you ain't smashed that thumbs up yet, can you do your boy a favor? Hit that thumbs up. We in here breaking down exactly how DAZN lost its 8.3 billion. I'm confused. Everybody in the chat confused. So we figuring this thing out, right? So far, right? We got a couple of these questions answered, right? We got who is investing $8.3 billion into them, right? His name is Lean Blanovic, right? The other question is, how do you lose $8.3 billion, right? That, well, you could buy two soccer teams, right? So he bought two Premier League soccer teams, right? For 2 million. I mean, for 2 billion. So let's just say that there was 1 billion apiece for each soccer team, right? And then he gave $1 billion to Matchroom, right? Matchroom is Eddie Hearn. So he gave $1 billion to Matchroom, right? In 2018. Now, in October 2018, DAZN signed Canelo Alvarez to a 10-fight, $350 million deal. But after 3 fights into his contract, Alvarez became a free agent when he was released from his Golden Boy and DAZN contract. So Canelo got away. Actually, he signed for a 10-fight deal, not an 8-fight deal. Yo, wow. He signed him for a 10-fight deal, and Canelo only had to fight 3 fights and got $350 million. Bro, Canelo Alvarez got $100 million a fight from Eddie Hearn. He got $100 million a fight from Eddie Hearn. But guess what, though? They kind of just destroyed a myth right there. Because people say Canelo got all this money because of his stardom and because he's the king and all that. 350 million, Canelo worth about shit 280, 300 million, right? So that means the majority of his contract came from this sole Eddie Hearn DAZN deal. Eddie Hearn in DAZN is what changed Canelo Alvarez's life, not him putting on these big fights and these great fights. That's most of his goddamn profit right there. That 350 million. Floyd Mayweather actually got his off pay-per-view. Ain't nobody come in and bless Floyd with no 350 million. They didn't give Floyd no 350 million. Eddie Hearn gave Canelo his fucking riches and made him what he is. He gave him a head start, and he was able to compile his 20 million, 30 million, $40 million a year on top of it. You know what I mean? Yep. Eddie Mo definitely did give Dev a bag. He showed him the fuck did. Told DAZN putting in money. Right. But anyway, I digress, right? I digress. Let's get back to it, right? Let's get back to it. So he gave Canelo $350 million out of his $1 billion portion for DAZN. Hold on. Let me go back to it. My bad. I got 17 people in the building. Can I get all 17? Y'all smash that like button. Right, but I digress, right? Is that Alvarez has still fought 5 out of his last 6 fights on DAZN, totaling 8 overall. Alvarez's last 2 fights against Dimitri Bivol in May and Gennady Golovkin in September took place on DAZN pay-per-view as a new venture for DAZN that was designed to cover costs associated around licensing boxing events with the goal to generate more revenue in addition to their monthly subscription model. The move came after DAZN had declared in advertising campaigns that the pay-per-view model would no longer be relevant in boxing. In March, DAZN's North American CEO, Joe Markowinski, shared the company's renewed position around pay-per-view with boxing scene. Wait. We're learning, Markowinski told Boxing Scene, and this why we're not shrinking away. I'm not personally shrinking away from comments we made about pay-per-views 4 years ago. I'm not going to try and pretend that was just a marketing campaign or I was just poking the bear. At the time, we genuinely believed we're humbled enough and honest enough to admit that maybe in hindsight got that wrong. But ultimately, do we still maintain the commitment to value our consumers? Absolutely. And I'm happy to have a conversation hand on heart with anyone in the market about, the value we offer boxing fans relative to our competitors. We are absolutely best in the class at that. We will continue to be, despite occasionally sparingly using pay-per-view to commercialize our fights. I'd be insincere if I said, we're only joking about that. We weren't. We believed it at that time. Mark Lewinsky looks at DAZN show Saturday in San Diego as a prime example of properly serving hardcore boxing fans. I'm about to let me keep reading it. They telling us about a card coming up now. They telling us about the cards. I don't want to find that part. Marco Winsky also emphasized DAZN would use pay-per-view sparingly, mostly for Canelo's appearances and heavyweight title fights involving British superstar Anthony Joshua. In 12 months, let's look at the pay-per-view year starting today. And looking back to 12 months of the pay-per-view activity, said Marco Winsky said, I guarantee you want to talk about the value at the end of the 12 months, see how much value has been served to boxing fans in that 12 months, we'll be at the top of that tree. Marco Winsky is convinced. Oh shit, hold on. Got a phone call. Hold on, I got a phone call. This shit getting boring, man. Where the good part at, man? You big head, big sitting here, big head at it. Oh shit. Hold on. My bad. Marco Winsky is convinced DAZN spend wisely on 2 or more fights involving Alvarez, which could earn the division champion more than $100 million. Y'all saw how they said the Alvarez fight could earn Alvarez more than $100 million, not them. Combined for Bivol and Golovkin. Heyman offered Alvarez comparable money to fight WBC champion Jamal Charlo, and if he would have won, former WBC champion, middleweight champion David Benavidez. We know how Alvarez was to our launch in the U.S. and our growth in the early days of DAZN USA. We're a lot smarter about what he means to our boxing business now. We're making far more economical sound decisions than I think we did then by understanding our business. He basically said, right? He basically just said he gave him a comment, right? He lied and told the truth at the same time. He said, we value Canelo Alvarez, right? And then he said we're a lot smarter about what he means to our boxing business now. We're making far more economical, sound decisions. That means we ain't giving Canelo Alvarez no $100 million a fight, no $350 million. You know what I mean? He said we're now making sound economical decisions that I think we did then by understanding our business. He said we're making more economical sound decisions than we did then by understanding our business now. As a result, we know what he's worth to us. He's a shrewd businessman as well. He knows his own value. I'm very confident in the deal that we've done. Although the numbers are eye-watering, if you look at them on their own without the context, we know the numbers are economically sensible for our business, and it should allow us to continue serving boxing fans with the best value in the market whilst giving the high quantity and quality of shows throughout the year. So it's good business for us. It's good business for him, and it's good business for Matchroom. It's a no-brainer. So I tell you this. This article was about, you know what I mean, DAZN Boxing skills. He said, T, this is crazy. I can't believe more people ain't talking about this. Yo, this is why. And basically what they told us is, right, they didn't tell us about none of the other sports company, right? But they did get into a little bit about DAZN Boxing. That's what the article was about. The article was about DAZN Boxing. Now, what they told us was that they had they lost $8.3 billion, right? Not million, but billion. They told us that they bought 2 soccer teams. They spent about $2 million on it. So they spent about a billion, my bad, not 2 million, $1 billion on it. They bought 2 soccer teams. They spent about $1 billion on it. So that's 2 million. And then they said they gave Eddie Hearn $1 billion, you know what I mean, for Metro. They gave Eddie Hearn $1 billion for Metro, right? They also mentioned Golden Boy. Golden Boy has, they said Metro and Golden Boy has, you know, exclusive network deals with them in the USA, right? So I don't know exactly how much they gave Golden Boy, right? But if they gave Metro $1 billion, right, I'm pretty sure that they gave Golden Boy $1 billion as well. Skills, what's good, pimp? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it, Brody. TWT in the building. Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Let me scroll back up to some of these comments, man. I know y'all read all that shit that I was saying. DS said the zone got popped and struck dry for their chicken strips. Facts, man. He said AJ must be thinking he got played by them. They gave him a percent of the company drowning in debt. Man, AJ got that like on his third DAZN deal. You know what I mean? Boxing MMA, he got that like on his third DAZN deal. And then look, the owner, right? I was just reading it, right? They said that they making, smarter economical decisions now, right? So it sounds like they keeping them around, right? They just said they gonna make smarter decisions now. They understand the business better now. Basically, what they said is, man, we not giving you 350 million, right? And he said Canelo is a shrewd businessman himself that understands his work. So he said he basically what he's saying is, shit, Canelo, he be asking for that bank. You know what I'm saying? He ain't playing. He asking for that bank. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all jab that thumbs up for your boy. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, whether you just passing through, we in this thing, breaking down exactly how in the hell did the zone lose $8.3 billion. Now they ain't actually gave us they ain't gave us the whole breakdown, right? But they did tell us, right? They basically told us in this article about where 4 billion of it, 4 billion of them dollars went. Out of 8.3, they told us about where 4 billion of it went. Now, they probably didn't pass out 8 billion to go in debt. They probably passed out about $4 billion, right? And then continue to lose. Then each company continued to lose about $1 billion. But y'all don't hear me though. Right. So he said he bought 2 soccer teams and he invested in 2 boxing platforms. Matchroom, Golden Boy. And he bought 2 soccer teams, right? So he bought the 2 soccer teams, that's $1 billion. He invested in 2 boxing streams, that's $1 billion. Somewhere along the line, right? Somewhere along the line, motherfuckers is losing $1 billion a year out here. They just told us in 2021 they lost $2.3 billion. Did the zone $1 billion? You know what I mean? How the hell do you do that? Oh shit. Okay. He said, I got the zone. He said, I hope the zone got their receipts. They need their money back. Right. He said, Eddie, aka Lotto Stud. Lotto Stud. Lotto fucking Stud. Right. He said, ran off on the plug, huh? Canelo most definitely ran off on the plug. He came back, but he ran off. He said, and he said Tank ain't a deep thinker. That motherfucker is, man, hey, talk about it. I don't they need to be talking about, don't it? You know what I mean? Talk about how Eddie Hearn said Tank ain't a deep thinker. I guess they don't care about that because Eddie White. I guess they be letting them white men slide. You know what I mean? Talk about how he said. Talk about how he said Eddie Tank ain't a deep thinker and then lost $8.3 billion. You know what I mean? God damn. You know what I mean? He just seemed like Eddie, a spoiled rich kid that came in boxing, throwing his weight and money around. That's exactly what Eddie Hearn is. Barry Hearn is a legend. Barry Hearn, that dude. Barry Hearn is the dude that got all of the money. They got the name and the respect and all that. You know what I mean? Eddie is the son. I got 24 people in the building. I got 27 likes. Can I get everybody in here to hit that thumbs up for your boy? That is not a typo. You see in that title, DAZN Boxing loses $8.3 billion since 2000. The zone as a whole loses. The zone as a whole, right, loses 8.3 billion since 2016. And he told us that he invested about 2 billion into boxing and 2 billion into 2 different soccer teams, right? So that explains where 4 billion of the dollars went. Now my question now is exactly how much did each company lose to get you $4 more billion into debt? So you invested 4 billion into 4 sports teams. I understand that. Good investment. Now, exactly what happened with the sports teams where you then doubled, where your investment went the other way. You doubled it the other way. You ain't double up. You double down. I want to know what exactly who lost what when you double down. That's the part they left out of there. All they talked about was them losing the money, what they invested in, and what they gonna do going forward, right? How much they invested in and what they gonna do going forward. But they left out exactly who lost what. You know what I mean? I caught that up in there. I want to know who lost what, so I can know how much exactly Eddie Hearn lost. We already know his first investment was a terrible one, 350 million for 10 fights, and you only got 3 of them. Now you're starting to get them on the back end. You know what I mean? But Canelo got away fighting 3 fights for 350 million. Is if DAZN was a person, it'd be on a ventilator. Facts. Okay. Let me get okay. They thought they had the cash cow in pocket. He ran off with the bread on him. Start fighting lackluster fights, right? He said people been saying DAZN losing money, right? Not say they have, right? They've been saying it for a minute, and it's funny. We talk about it, we be like Eddie Hearn, the worst promoter, right? DAZN losing money. They went out of business in the USA, right? Eddie Hearn passing out all that money to them fighters, just throwing it away, right? It's one thing when we think it, right? When we see it, we make jokes on it, but it's another thing to really see exactly the figure on print, bro. $8.3 billion, and they told us who invested in them. Lean Blackenitz. I'm gonna go back to his name in a minute, but a guy named Lean is the billionaire who invested in them. At some point, when Lean saw himself, right, when he invested his $4 billion into the 4 teams, right, and then he saw himself lose $1 billion, right. I think Lean should have been like, well, man, I might want to shut this shit down. If you got to lose $1 billion per team, I'm gonna just split it out evenly, right? I'm gonna just say they all lost $1 billion because he invested in 4 different sports teams. Let's just say they all lost $1 billion because he lost $8 billion. You done lost $1 billion from each team. Maybe, right? Just maybe you should focus. Maybe, just maybe, you should focus, on maybe one of your teams or 2 of your teams. You know what I mean? But at some point, man, how the fuck do you lose 8.3 billion, dog, in 8 years, bro? That's like, if you just break it down, but just break it down in the simplest forms, bro. This man is losing $1 billion a year. This got to be the worst sports investor I ever seen, y'all. You go be a sports investor, right? You go be a sports team investor, right? But you go lose $1 billion per year. This got to be the worst goddamn sports investor I ever seen, dog. Has to be. Shout out my guy Sean Clark in his super chat. He said we got to get the likes up and share videos like this. Too many narratives. Motherfuckers out here ripping down Al. Too many followers. Not enough supporters. DAZN lost 4 NBA teams. DAZN had NBA teams. DAZN had NBA teams. Ton of vision. He said he would have better buy an NBA, NFL, baseball team. He bought 2 soccer teams, and he invested $1 billion into Matchroom, and he invested. They didn't say exactly what he invested into Golden Boy, right? But they said Golden Boy and Matchroom have exclusive deals with him. He said he gave Matchroom a billion. So my guess is if he gave Matchroom $1 billion, he probably gave Golden Boy $1 billion too. So really what this telling me now is, and it's crazy, right? What this telling me is that Eddie Hearn is responsible for giving Oscar De La Hoya his bag, and Eddie Hearn is responsible for giving Canelo Alvarez his bag. Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn is responsible for giving Canelo his bag, and Eddie Hearn is responsible for giving Oscar De La Hoya his bag. You get what I'm saying? DAZN. No. Eddie Hearn is. No. DAZN is. DAZN is responsible for giving, Eddie Hearn. Of course, they're gonna give to Eddie Hearn, right? This Barry's son. But they responsible for making not only Canelo, we just figured out, Eddie Hearn gave Canelo his money, right? And DAZN gave Oscar De La Hoya his money. You know what I mean? So DAZN is responsible in hindsight, in the effect, right, for making Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya. That's wild. He's an Eddie, a spoiled rich kid. He don't know shit about how to talk about AJ. Little Daisy Duke shorts wearing that. Right. He said the money it would take to buy 4 NBA teams. Man, yeah, that's why. That's why. But maybe soccer, maybe soccer his sport, right? It ain't it ain't necessarily looking like that, from his profit, right? But what he said was, right? He said moving forward, he said here moving forward, they understand the business better. They understand the business better. They understand now more what's going on than they understood back then. So going forward, they're expecting to do a little better. My thing is, bro, this man, whoever this Lynn, I'm gonna go back and look at his name. His name is Lynn something. I can remember his first name. Lynn Vlakovic. Win Vlakanik. I think that's his name. Vlakanik. Win Vlakanik, for this boy to lose 8.3 million and to say, well, yeah, I think we'll just dust ourselves off and try again. Right? That's basically what he said. That man must be filthy rich. Like he must be insanely rich. Is this where all this goddamn money? Is this where all this goddamn money coming from? You know what I mean? Overseas and shit, bro. Where the hell do these niggas be getting all this goddamn money from? That must be one of them oil dudes. That must be one of them oil dudes over there that they be talking about. That must get one of them oil dudes. You know what I mean? We need to get some oil dudes over here in America, goddamn it. First of all, who would invest $1 billion? Who would invest? Is that one of the Putin boys? They're all super loaded. Who would invest, right? After losing, right? Let's just say that they all lost a billion. Let's just say each company lost a billion per year, right? Because they basically told us they spent a billion per team, right? So let's just say each company lost a billion per year. Who is telling these people? Who are advising these people, right? To to lose another $1 billion. You know what I mean? Each of these companies that lost you $1 billion since your investment. At some point, you got to pull the plug. They now really took most of the zone. They say they took the zone. Uh, they not really took most of the zone out of America. The zone USA is almost dead. You get what I'm saying? Almost, not quite, but almost. We still get pay-per-views. You know what I mean? I don't even have the zone anymore. I don't even have the zone anymore. I don't really got no reason to watch it. Devin Haney gone. You know what I mean? Out there, joint. Carter being a cheat. You know what I mean? I watch AJ on pay-per-views. All his fights pay-per-views. You know what I mean? So I don't gotta have the zone for that. You know what I mean? I don't got a reason to have it. Now I watch the fights. But as soon as they update terrible ass description, right? That's why they up them prices. Now it's starting to make sense. Y'all remember the zone used to be like fucking $10. Zone used to be like $20, right? And then they upped it to like $50. You know what I mean? Connor Ben used to be my boy DS, man. I can't rock with Connor. Like I'm watching him from afar, right? I'm gonna watch him from afar. I got to see what he do when he get back. You know what I mean? But that's probably why they upped that price. You know what I mean? That joint used to be like $7 or $10 or something. Then they doubled the price or something like that. Right when that, because I used to pay for it. I used to pay for it because in that article, he said something. He said the zone provides us with the best quantity and quality. I don't necessarily know about the quality, but I ain't gonna lie. The zone do consistently put on fights, you know what I mean, throughout the year. That I do agree with. So I did pay for the zone because they put on a lot of fights. But once they want to up the price to start making me pay for all these pub fighters and these bullshit ass fighters that I don't know, I can watch a card. I see goddamn two good prospects on the card. They'll have a 13, 14 prospect card. It'll be two good prospects on there. And all the fights will go the distance because nobody on the whole card got knockout power. So he do give you 4 hours worth of boxing, right? But 2.5 hours gonna be a bunch of fighters that you never heard of. All of them gonna look like they old and drunk or young and drunk. Or look like they came from the goddamn deli or the telly or the pub and got straight in the ring. I saw a guy fighting on the zone who was like 6'87". Couldn't believe it. Swear to God, couldn't believe it. But I digress. PGH Big Dog. What's good, pimp? Appreciate you sliding through. Glad you can make it, my G. Glad you can make it, PGH. He said, how do you have all the soccer league deals around the world and not be making profit? They must have the worst marketing team on the planet. Bro, that dude, whoever is running the zone, bro, he must just got money to blow. He just out here throwing, she just got here throwing darts in the dark. You know what I mean? Hoping shit stick. Yo, I got 19 people in the building. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. Hit that thumbs up, whether you gonna be here for a good time or a long time, whether you just pass it through. If y'all could help your boy make it do what it do, if y'all could help keep the views with the likes, we greatly appreciate that. Let YouTube know that we live. Let YouTube know that we cooking right now. Let YouTube know that we having this boxing conversation. This boxing conversation is about the zone losing $8.3 billion since 2016. They then kind of gave us a breakdown on where the money went, right? They told us about 4 sports teams, basically, right? 2 soccer teams, Golden Boy and Matchroom. The 2 soccer teams cost about $1 billion each. He said he gave $1 billion to Matchroom, so I'm gonna just assume that he gave $1 billion to Golden Boy as well. That explains where the initial investments went, but they don't explain how you double down on your profit. You lost $4 billion when you started the franchises, right? And instead of gaining, $1 billion a year or $500 million a year, even the slow out, right? You lost $1 billion a year. So we're here trying to figure out exactly how the hell do you lose $1 billion a year. I want to know exactly who lost what, because I guarantee you some of them franchises lost more money than the other one. They all ain't breakdown even. Some of them was trash and some of them did good. You know what I mean? If it's 4 franchises, right, about 2 of them was trash and 2 of them was good, maybe for you to lose $4 billion. You get what I'm saying? If they all equally subpar, then you need to figure out what the hell you doing with yourself. You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy on commentary. Appreciate you sliding through. He said, so no DK business allowed in the US, and then all of a sudden the zone is dead, huh? Talk to him on commentary. Talk to him, my G. Pay attention. You know, we tried to tell him, man. I made an EP, on it a while back on commentary. Y'all remember? Y'all remember Deontay Wilder then was telling people? Y'all remember Deontay Wilder then was telling people it's investigations going on? You know what I mean? These people cheating. A lot of this gonna come out. A lot of stuff gonna hit the fan. Just wait for it. You know what I mean? And we starting to see the effects of that right now, right before our eyes. Not everybody is really paying attention. You know what I mean? But for the people that are, y'all can see a lot of this stuff that Deontay Wilder talking about, is coming to fruition. Right? And again, we had spoke on how they passing narratives about the PBC losing money and going out of business. You know what I mean? And all that foul play and shit they be wanting to say, type deal. Top Brain trying to sue PBC for violating the Ali Act and all that. But let's pay attention to what's really going on. This is why they constantly telling you, these lies about the PBC and all that. It's because everything they telling you and they trying to project on the PBC, that's what's going on with they companies. You know what I mean? Just look at it. You got Top Rank under investigation for working with Daniel Killahan. Now you got Top Rank on paper, working with the feds to help bring down Daniel Killahan, saying they didn't know that he was a mob boss, and they'll do everything in their power to cooperate with the police. So now you got Top Rank under investigation. Now they got a snitch, so they won't go to jail. You got DAZN, USA going out of business, like my guy on commentary just said, right around the time that Daniel Killahan, get kicked out of the USA and all his assets and shit. He can't do business in the USA. Now DAZN USA got to leave, right? They going out of business. But the whole time, everybody want to tell you that it's the PBC going out of business. They going broke. They don't make the fights and all that. But if you look at what's really going on, you can know that the PBC is actually the only one that's, I ain't gonna say the only one, but the PBC is handling their damn business right now. DAZN is the one that's going out of business, and Top Rank is the one that's doing the foul play and working with DK and all that shit. You know what I mean? Just gotta play. I said play. Just gotta pay attention to it. Pay attention to what people doing. Right? Pay attention to what they doing. And that's a real life, message too. Pay attention to what they're doing. Don't just pay attention to what they say. Sometimes people say shit to get you unfocused. They'll say left. They'll say left because they really got something coming from the right. They'll say right because they really got something coming from the left. They gonna say down because they really got it coming from, above you. It's over your head. You get what I'm saying? Watch people actions. They say the PBC. That's the narrative. But really, if you look at the reports and the allegations and the lawsuits, it ain't the PBC that's getting hit with allegations and it's under investigation and all this shit. You know what I mean? But I digress. He said they must be printing money over there, right? Or they must come from a long line of goddamn oil, goddamn people, goddamn. They feeling must struck oil or some shit like that. He said, how much did Eddie steal and why he's still there? They off the top right, they invested $1 billion into Eddie Hearn. So they invested $1 billion into him. So that's $1 billion off the top. Now from their PGH, I don't really know exactly how much he lost, right? Right. But they invested $1 billion in him. That's $1 billion off the top. They invested $1 billion in him, $1 billion in Oscar De La Hoya, and $1 billion in 2 soccer teams. So that's $4 billion. Now the company is $8.3 billion in debt. So along the line, somebody lost money. All of them lost money probably. And if I'm equally blaming everybody, so I'm gonna just say $1 billion a piece. But I won't be too surprised, right? If Golden Boy lost more money than Ed goddamn baby. You get what I'm saying? I know it ain't broken down evenly, but you know, we'll just say they each lost $1 billion for conversation purposes, right? Because I know Eddie Hearn. I mean, I know Oscar De La Hoya probably snorted 500 million of that off the yacht. You know what I mean? What's good, Jay Gibson? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. TWT in the building. INJ. I'm gonna let y'all know a little later though, type shit. But hey, bro, I know y'all boxing people in this thing. Stephen Shaw to knock out FL Jogba is plus 550. I won't feel right if I don't tell y'all that. Stephen Shaw to knock FL Jogba out is plus 550. That's only on that one fight, not a parlay, just straight up. You know what I mean? That's the play this week. That's where that's where the money at. This week, just let y'all know I won't feel right without telling y'all that thing. But I digress. You know what I mean? Let me get back in the chat. What's good, Jay? Yeah, he said it's all these companies who say PBC is losing money. These the hey Judah, fact, bro, fact. All the people that's saying that the PBC the ones going out of business losing money, it's them niggas that's losing the money. They saying, oh, PBC up to no good. Tell me how you try to sue Al Heyman for violating the Ali Act, right? And the Ali Act was created for Bob Arum, trying to violate Muhammad Ali and violate his fighters. How did you try to sue Al Heyman using the Ali Act? And the Ali Act was created for you. It was created for you. Talking about some privilege. Fast J Gibson, they looking like HBO Junior out here. But they just let y'all know, right? They let y'all know when all them people separated, Al Heyman and Top Rank and Bob Barrow and all them separated and shit. They got their own companies, right? And you see how successful the PBC is, right? Now Top Rank been around for a long time. They just there, right? But you see how hard it is for Eddie to get an upstart. You know what I mean? And you see when they when they split, Top Rank don't even do pay-per-views no more. You know what I mean? Bob Arum been saying he in the red for years, right? They've been saying PBC, bro. PBC been doing just fine. You see who was the brains behind that operation. You see who was the spearhead, right? You see who ended up with most of the fighters in that thing. You see who got the better end of the deal, right? That's why they got this. It seemed like right they got this big vendetta against the people over there on the PBC side because they all used to work together. You know what I mean? Did he do that like musical against Eddie Hearn and Lou DiBella? Yeah, something wrong with Lou DiBella. Pro Bellum. He's invested $1 billion in Golden Boy. What's that fucking insanity? What a dumb investment. They like Oscar De La Hoya over there at Golden Boy. They like Oscar. That's all it is. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all jab that like button for your boy. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, whether you just sliding through. We in this thing having us a boxing conversation, man. We trying to figure out exactly how in the hell DAZN has lost $8.3 billion since 2016. That's $1 billion per year. Just to catch y'all up, we didn't find out this so far. They invested $1 billion in two soccer teams, $1 billion each in two soccer teams, and invested $1 billion each in Matchroom and Golden Boy. Now somebody got some explaining to do because that's only $4 million. So if my math is correct, if you're 8.3 in debt and you invested 4 billion, you 8.3 billion in debt and you invested 4 billion in four companies, that means each of them companies lost about $1 billion, right? And I know it ain't quite like that, but I'm just be generous and breaking down the middle and say they all broke even. They all lost about $1 billion, right? We discovered exactly who is issuing out this money. The man name is Leon Vladinix. Leon Vladinix is the guy who is issuing out this money. Leon Vladinix must have goddamn $100 billion, right? He must have a money printer over there to be investing $8.3 billion in sports teams that's going down, to be investing $4 billion in sports team, losing another $4 billion and continuing to have your sports factions run. You know what I mean? You must just like losing money. But what he's saying now is right, and he still has all these, franchises running. He said now that they've learned the business, he's expecting to have better results going forward. So he go keep supplying Eddie. He go keep supplying DAZN. He go keep supplying them soccer teams. You get what I'm saying? I want to know exactly where the hell that. If you could lose $8 billion, man, how many billions do you got, man? And you don't need it. You don't even need all that goddamn money, bro. I don't be pocket watching niggas, but when you got 8.3 billion to lose, bro, that could change America right there. And you invested that shit in DAZN, and you invested that shit in DAZN. That's wild. They tried to use. He said Golden Boy promotion, Golden Boy worst promotion in boxing. How do you get him $1 billion? Shaking my head. These owners need to fire everyone. Right? They don't want this started. They gave them $1 billion to to make them the worst promotional company. You know what I mean? But what I learned from reading that article today, and what we learned here today, right, is that Eddie Hearn gave Canelo his net worth. Eddie Hearn gave Canelo $350 million. You know what I mean? So Eddie Hearn gave Canelo his net worth, and DAZN gave Golden Boy his net worth. Gave Oscar De La Hoya his net worth because they gave him $1 billion. You get what I'm saying? So people want to, tell you that Canelo is this massive star and he got all that money because of his pay-per-views and his star power and his sellout crowds. That's not true at all. Eddie Hearn gave that man $350 million, and Canelo Alvarez is worth about $280 million right now. So the mass majority of his assets is coming straight from Eddie Hearn, not because he's the superstar, nothing like that. It's because Eddie Hearn wanted to give him that bag. And ain't nothing wrong with Eddie Hearn giving him that bag. But I'm just saying all those pay-per-view sales and all that shit, y'all got to stop it. It ain't why Canelo got his assets. Canelo got his assets because Eddie Hearn threw him a bone. Floyd Mayweather had to earn his assets. Floyd Mayweather put that work in and accumulated his $1 billion worth of money. You get what I'm saying? Nobody gave Floyd Mayweather a head start with $350 million. He had to earn it and get to that point, right? But I digress. So Uncle, I said they tried to use the Ali Act because they wanted to see what he paid fighters, not because they wanted fighters to see. Right. Exactly, Sean. And the Ali Act was literally created for Bob Bear, and he tried to sue Al Heyman using the Ali Act, which was the sole purpose of that was for you trying to get over on the fighters. He was mad because he got sued, he lost, and he had to change the way that he do business a little bit. So he was just trying to make Al Heyman. He was trying to give Al Heyman a hard time starting his company. You know what I mean? Trying to stall him out. And the jury and the judges weren't really going for it like that. Yoda, what's good, Yoda? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it. TWT in the building. He said how much they lose on Cabanello and bum ass Triple G. PJ's Big Dog. I'm not really sure how much they. Well, I say this in that article. They didn't say how much they made or lost on that fight, but they gave Canelo $350 million up front to fight a 10-fight deal in which he only fought 3 fights on initially, and then he left for 4 fights, and then he came back later on, which was 2021. And now, bro, I'm glad that you asked it. Hey, good question, PJ. Good question, bro, because you just put something in my head, bro. Y'all want to know what I just thought about? Okay, they gave Canelo Alvarez $350 million up front. He only fought 3 fights. He went away for 4 years. He came back in 2021. At the beginning of that article, they told us in 2021, the zone lost $2.3 billion. That's the year. That's the year that Canelo Alvarez came back. Canelo Alvarez came back to the zone in 2021. They made sure they made sure to tell us that they lost $2.3 billion that year. Now, I'm not saying that Canelo Alvarez lost them $2.3 billion, right? But I'm saying this initially, right? They gave Eddie Hearn $1 billion, so that's $1 billion gone. Eddie Hearn gave Canelo $350 million. Canelo fought 3 times. He left for 4 fights and came back in 2021, and that's the year that they lost their $2.3 billion. Wow. He said because the Ali Act does say that our revenues be made public, but none of them motherfuckers make their shit public. Yep. Yeah. I mean, they put something out, right? They don't always put the right thing out, right? But they be putting something out. They be putting something out. Let me wrench up Costa. My bad, Costa. Why you ain't say you ain't got no damn wrench, Costa? I could have sworn you had a wrench, though. Let me wrench up Costa, man. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Coastal Boxing, man. Y'all jab that like button for your boy. I got 19 people in the building. I got 32 likes. If y'all could get your boy right, jab that like. Big Tex. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Big Tex. Glad you can make it. TWT in the building. Yo, just let y'all know too, y'all. Big Shot Shout Knockout is plus 550 tomorrow. Big Shot Shout Knockout is plus 550 tomorrow. I'm gonna be opening up the betting lines later after I finish this live stream. Right, I'm gonna drop a couple, the other live streams, and then we gonna come on a little later and we gonna talk about, you know what I mean, all of the fights, the lines, and we gonna do our best though, right? But the high bet, the single bet, just one fight, just one thing you would need. Big Shot Shout is plus 550 on that knockout. You know what I mean? Just let you know. I'm gonna do a parlay, of course, but that's where the money at this weekend. Big Shot Knockout. Coastal Boxing 2021. I'm not sure how many times Canelo fought. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. That might be their year. That might be their year he fought goddamn dear Billy Joe. It might be the year he fought somebody else at the top of that year. He fought Darren and Billy Joe, and he fought 4 times in 1 year. I think he finished with Caleb Plant, but it started like from 21 to 22 is the year that he fought 4 times. So that was that year. That was that year Canelo Alvarez fought 4 times. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a lot to do with it. Hey, yeah, I'm being like a motherfucker too, buddy. I'm being like a motherfucker too, buddy. If I think that's that year that Canelo went on that wrong coast, if I'm mistaken. Brown on Boxing, what's good, pimp? Appreciate you sliding through this, John Brown. Glad you could make it. If y'all could hit that like button for your boy when you roll on in. We in this thing talking about DAZN, in DAZN Boxing losing $8.3 billion since 2016. What we have discovered from the article thus far, right, is that the owner of DAZN, he made 4 investments, right? He invested in 2 soccer teams, and he invested in Golden Boy, and he invested in Metro. Golden Boy. Okay, Ray, shout out my guy, Ray. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna put you in, Ray. I got you. He invested in 2 soccer teams, and he invested in Metro, and he invested in Golden Boy, right? He gave the soccer team, each soccer team, he invested $1 billion into. He invested $1 billion into Metro and Eddie Hearn, and he invested $1 billion into Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya, right? Now, that accounts for $4 million. The reporting said that they lost $8.3 million since 2016. So that means that somewhere along the line, with him issuing out this money, he's lost $1 billion per year since 2016. 8 years, he's lost $1 billion and some change, actually, right? Per year since 2016. The guy, the investor, the majority owner for DAZN, his name is Lean Vlanowicz. Lean Vlanick. Lean Vlanick. He came out and he made a statement, and he basically broke it down, right? He said, he gave a $1 billion to each soccer team and $1 billion to 2 boxing outlets, right? So somewhere along the line, those soccer team, those 2 boxing outlets, they did a horrible fucking job, right? And it's always been, a stigma, a running joke, right? It's always been the feel that Eddie Hearn and DAZN has been doing terrible with their boxing. And not only Eddie Hearn and DAZN, right, but Golden Boy as well. Golden Boy to an even worse degree than Eddie Hearn and Metro, right? But it's always been the feel around that those two have been doing, kind of terrible when it comes to, boxing. And basically what this article and these figures show us is that is exactly true. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna keep saying this, right? They want to tell you that the PBC going out of business and losing money, but when you check the scoreboard, right? When you really check the numbers, right? When you really check what's going on, the proof is in the pudding. And I love pudding. You know what I mean? And the proof is in the pudding. Like I saw this. I had to come hit on this, man, because not enough people, are hitting on this. And I want to make another reference, right? You got Eddie Hearn, right? Coming at Gervonta Tank Davis saying that, oh yeah, Gervonta Tank Davis, he's not he's not really a big thinker. He's not really a good thinker in the ring, and I think that helps him. He kind of just goes in and he fights. He don't really think that much. Basically trying to say that he said he used Gervonta Tank Davis' name, right? But he really was trying to say, I feel like he was trying to say black fighters, really. You know what I mean? Black fighters. He was taking a shot at Gervonta, but I think he was really wanting to say black people in general, right? So they're not thinking, they just go out there and fight. It's like natural. How you go give a comment and throw a shot at the same time? That's what we need to be out here ripping. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn, challenging Tank's goddamn mental. You know what I mean? And then you go challenge Gervonta Tank Davis mental, right? Now Gervonta Tank Davis ain't never been given $1 billion, right? But he's earned a pretty nice living for himself, right? You want to challenge his ability, right? His thinking ability. That man ain't never lost no motherfucking $1 billion. He ain't never been given $1 billion and not still been a billionaire. You know what I mean? Why ain't you worth $1 billion if they invested $1 billion? I mean, you made a lot of bad business moves. Gervonta Davis made some great business moves. If you compare where he at to where he came from, his profit is probably damn way better than yours. You know what I mean? If Gervonta Tank Davis has been able to accumulate 10, 15, $20 million, you know what I mean? At least he plus $20 million in his journey. Your ass minus $1 billion out here. You know what I mean? You trying to talk about, him think he ain't never lost nobody $1 billion. You probably lost more than $1 billion. I wouldn't be surprised if you were in goddamn Oscar De La Hoya, then lost goddamn $1.5 billion. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if them two soccer teams are a success, because soccer don't feel like that. Soccer is popular around the world, man. Soccer does good. I'm having a hard time believing that them soccer teams is tanking like that. I'm having a hard time believing them soccer teams is tanking billions of dollars. You know what I mean? People love soccer, especially, overseas. I know they come into them arenas, but we do know that y'all, Golden Boy, in DAZN, y'all been struggling over here. We know that. We can see that. We know y'all don't got a whole lot of popular fighters. We know y'all came out and y'all issued out and dished out a whole lot of money to these American fighters to get them to come fight on your platforms. You know what I mean? We know that much. So I wouldn't even be surprised if a lot of that debt didn't have nothing to do with those soccer teams. I'm really being nice by giving everybody $1 million worth of debt, because I know everybody got $1 million investment. You know what I mean? So I'm really just being nice about the being lost. But I won't be surprised if majority of them losses is coming from goddamn Golden Boy and Metro. For real. Cause y'all paying AJ hella money. Y'all pay Canelo all that money. Y'all pay Triple G all that money. Y'all pay Devin Haney all that money. You know what I mean? Y'all still out here issuing out a whole bunch of money. You get what I'm saying? We be in this thing talking about the wrong stuff. You know what I mean? Sometimes that I think type deal. So how you gonna sit here and question Gervonta Davis thinking ability when he ain't out here in debt? Your ass is out here. Your ass out here $1 billion, bro. How you accumulate somebody $1 billion worth of debt? You just out here throwing away them people money like that, dog. You really should be ashamed of yourself. And I don't even, matter of fact, what's her name? What's her name? Lynn. I'm finna make sure I get his name right. This man named Lynn. Almost know about that. What's this man name? I know his first name Lynn. Boy, I can't find that man name. But Lynn, you gotta do better, Lynn. You know what I mean? You gotta do better. I'm pretty sure them soccer teams ain't do that either. You know what I mean? That would explain why 60% of the DAZN Boxing USA funds got cut. You know what I mean? That would explain now why you got Oscar De La Hoya trying to put Ryan Garcia and Virgil Ortiz in these big fights now because he didn't protected them and ducked them so long. You didn't steer them as far as you can. You just steered them, you know what I mean, as far as you can. It's time to pay that piper. Y'all got to get them folks that cash. Now, I do believe that Canelo Alvarez is stepping in there with Dimitri Bivol. I swear I do. Now that this report coming out, matter of fact, I got so much stuff to talk about just from this one report. I'm gonna take this joint and take it somewhere else, bro, because it's all starting to make sense to me now. It's all starting to make sense to me now. These big fights are going to happen. Virgil is gonna get him a big fight. Goddamn, Ryan Garcia go fight Gervonta Tank Davis. You know what I mean? And Canelo is gonna fight Dimitri Bivol because they got no choice. They backs are against the wall. They gotta make these big fights. They gotta get their revenue going because they gotta pay the piper. $8.3 billion in debt. This might be their last year. This might be their last goddamn year to make something happen. They might be getting the plug pulled on them completely if they don't play these cards right, dude. I'm on fire right now, dude. Somebody need to put me out, bro. Somebody need to put me out. You feel me? And I'm glad I said it when I only had 13 of y'all in here. That way somebody might not be able to steal my idea, but I'm pretty sure somebody go steal it. But I got hella videos. I got an EP coming, bro. These fights are going to happen. Let me tell you why. These fights go happen. Let me tell you why. You feel me? Because they got to make that shit happen, bro. This shit making sense to me. These boys is going out. Now we've been saying they going out of business for a minute, right? I think that shit is almost here. He did facts. This probably that last year. Nah, boxing. Why else, bro? Now all of a sudden, right? Y'all been protecting Hammy Munguia, bro. Zerto as well. Zerto had to get in there. Zerto is fucking golden, boy. Zerto just fought Bivol, who the zone. They making money together. They gotta make these fights happen to save they fucking USA boxing shit. To say that USA boxing division, bro, for real. Matchroom and the zone. Boy, I should have said this for another. I'm still gonna say it again because there's a lot of people that ain't here. What's good, Edgar Chavez? Appreciate you sliding through. It's a lot of people that ain't here. So I'm gonna go. I might do that later on today. I might do that later on today. It might be a little quick EP. You know what I mean? Nah, I gotta cook on that. I'm gonna need at least an hour. I'm gonna need at least an hour to cook on that. You know what I mean? Jay Allen. What's good, Jay Allen? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Jay Allen, I don't know if this is your first time, but if you could not make it your last time, could you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel? Greatly appreciate you sliding through this thing. Cash apps and super chats are welcome, but support is free, my brother. like the video, share the video, tell a friend and tell a friend. Greatly appreciate you sliding through. Just to give you the the rundown real quick, so you could kind of be caught up. I scrolled past this article. It said the zone loses $8.3 billion since 2016. That is not a typo. That is not a typo. They most definitely put a B and not an M. So my first question was, how the hell do you lose $8.3 billion in 8 years? That's $1 billion a year. My second question was, who is invested? Who has $8.3 billion to invest to lose? The guy name is Jawalanix. Lynn Jawalanix is the guy who invested the $8.3 billion. To answer the first question on how do you lose it, he invested $1 billion each in 4 sports franchises, 2 soccer teams, Golden Boy, and Matchroom. Now, he invested in those 4 franchises. Somewhere along the line, he lost $4 billion. I'm not really sure how it divvied out between each franchise, but he invested in 4 franchises and he lost 4 billion buying the franchise. He lost 4 billion since he got the franchises, right? Not sure which franchise did what, but I know soccer is a pretty popular sport. So I just go out on the limb and say I doubt those soccer teams, are the teams that necessarily tanked. I'm finna get to it. I'm finna get to it, Jay Allen, because he said that's exactly what he said. He said, and they go keep running, my brother. Appreciate you sliding through. He said they go keep running, right? But I'm noticing something right now, Jay. Right? I'm noticing something right now, Jay. You got Golden Boy pushing Virgil Ortiz in the title mix finally after all these years and not wanting title shots. You got Ryan Garcia wanting to fight Tank Davis all these years after not fighting title shots. You got Canelo Alvarez, wanting to fight Triple G before he fight Dimitri Bivol, ultimately having to fight Dimitri Bivol, then him saying that he gonna fight Dimitri Bivol again, but he want to fight John Ryder first, right? Now you got Canelo Alvarez and Bivol about to fight again, and it's dawning on me. It's dawning on me now, Jay Allen, right? They dropped this article about losing all this money, right? They added that Canelo Alvarez, they added that they gave Eddie Hearn $1 billion. They gave Golden Boy $1 billion. They added that Eddie Hearn gave Canelo Alvarez $350 million for 10 fights. Canelo Alvarez only fought 3 of those fights. He went away. He had 4 fights away from them. They also mentioned that in 2021, that DAZN lost $2.3 billion. 2021 is the year that Canelo Alvarez came back to DAZN. You get what I'm saying? Now you got all them. Now you got Ryan Garcia, Canelo Alvarez, Dimitri Bivol, Virgil Ortiz. Fighters who've been, not Bivol, right? Fighters who've been kind of protected. But now you got them stepping up and taking their big fights on this year. You got Virgil Ortiz, who probably about to fight Stanonis in the big fight. Then he about to fight, for a title. Probably that's 2 big fights. You got Ryan Garcia, who finally about to fight. Who finally about to fight goddamn Ryan Garcia. I mean, you got a Ryan Garcia who finally want to fight Tank all of a sudden, right? He a Golden Boy guy. You got Dimitri Bivol, who's the zone, and you got Canelo, who Golden Boy, right? They about to make some money together. My thing is, what I'm thinking right now is Matchroom and Golden Boy, they got to make these fights to save their goddamn companies. They've been losing money for the longest. These may be their last year to either put a dent in this shit or make a big turnaround, right? And make sure when y'all hear this later on, y'all tell the content creator to give Sudden T, a little credit. But I'm going to talk about it later on today because, ideas like this, you can't let them sit too long because people will, come and snatch your shit. So I got to most definitely, cook on this. I'm going to actually set it up as soon as I finish this. I'm not going to do it when I finish this one, but I'm most definitely going to set it up when I finish this one. Facts, Jay Allen. That's what I'm thinking, bro. They desperate to make some bread. Jay. That's what I'm thinking, bro. That's what I'm thinking. And he most definitely, and this is what he said, Jay Allen. He said that they made some mistakes earlier, right? Which is why, it went bad. But he said now they're more economically sound and they're making better decisions. So it should improve going forward. What it sound like is, what it sound like the owner said when he said that is, hey, y'all, look, I'm finna give y'all a little more time to try to turn this around. Y'all can't turn this around out. We done. You know what I mean? He said, but we're more economically sound now. That means okay, we blew some money early. We go eat that bullet, but we go do better now. So he basically giving them another chance. It could be your last chance. I don't know how many more chances you go be getting losing. You know what I mean? $8 billion. Your patience got to run thin. Now my patience run thin around 150, $200, right? That nigga patience run thin around $1 billion. We got a different patience level. You get it? But maybe he was run thin around 10 billion. Maybe he need 10 billion before he, before he realized that that's a bad investment. If I start to lose $200 on some stupid shit, I'm gonna stop doing the stupid shit that I'm losing it on. You get what I'm saying, right? But I digress. Shout out my guy Sean Clark in the super. He said, "Yo, T, salute to you, bro. You on this motherfucker cooking with straight grease. First thing in the AM, about to dip. I'm gonna double back. Watch the rest. Appreciate you, Sean Clark, sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it." Let me get the boy Sean right. Is Sean rest up in here? Let me get Sean Clark right. Let me get Sean Clark his toolie, man, so he don't be out here naked. Let me get you rinsed up, Sean. So you don't be out here in this thing naked, man. So you don't be out here in this thing naked. Naked. My goddamn comment box won't pop up. God damn it, Flam it. Hold on. Let me rinse you up, my G. Where you at? Where you at? There you go. Shout out my guy Jay Allen in that super chat as well. My bad. Let me get back to this. I see the color where he at. Jelly Bean was good. Appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that, dude. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all jab that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I got 21 people in the building. I got 35 likes. Can y'all get your boy right? Hit that thumbs up for your boy. We in here having us a boxing conversation. We trying to figure out exactly how did the zone lose 8.3 billion, and I think we didn't figure it out. You know what I mean? It only took us an hour and 29 minutes. Greatly appreciate you sliding through. Shout out my guy Jelly Bean. What's good, Jelly Bean? Shout out my guy Jay Allen in the super. He said, spend that money. Money don't work. He said that spend money to make money don't work always. Yeah, Jay Allen, especially when you set the goal right at $1 billion. You put it out at $1 billion. Then the first thing he do, he should have known, right? He should have known that something was wrong, right, Jay Allen? You give a guy $1 billion, right? And the first thing he do is go out and give 350 million of it away to one person. You know what I mean? You most definitely could have got Canelo Alvarez to come fight for you, bro, for $100 million. You could have gave Canelo Alvarez 25 million per fight, just like you giving him now, and he would have took it. You came out just wanting to get him, man, 350 million. That was your first mistake. You get $1 billion, I'm finna go spend 35% of it on one fighter. You gave Canelo, bro. You gave Canelo Alvarez 125 million per fight. The nigga did 3 fights, left you, and then came back. And when he came back, right, reporting out, they didn't mention Canelo Alvarez coming back. They did mention in 2021, the zone lost $2.3 billion. And that's the year that Canelo Alvarez came back to the zone. That's the year you had them 4 fights in 1 year, from 21 to 22. Is when he had them 4 fights, you know what I mean, in 1 year type deal. I guarantee you, man, most of their money, most of their loss is coming from their USA boxing and not them soccer teams. I can almost bet bread on it. 20 people in the building, y'all smash that like, but I don't know if y'all just sliding through, but let me catch y'all up real quick. You know what I mean? Let me catch y'all up real quick, get you up to speed. The Zone has reported that they lost $8.3 million since 2016. My first question was, how do you lose $8.3 billion? You know what I mean? My second question was, who has $8.3 million to invest and lose? To answer the first question, you lose it because, right, you bought 2 soccer franchises for $1 billion a piece. So that's 2 billion gone. And then you invested in 2 boxing franchises, DAZN and Golden Boy. So that's 4 million gone. What's good? Come back to back. Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Come back. Glad you can make it. Right. So now you invest in 2 soccer franchises. That's $1 billion a piece. That's $2 million gone. You invest in 2 boxing outlets, $1 billion a piece. That's $4 million gone. Now somewhere along the line, that other $4.3 billion that you lost came from somewhere between your 4 investments. Right. Now, like my man stated earlier, soccer is a pretty popular sport around the world. I find it a hard time to believe that people out here losing billions, on soccer. I do know for myself, right, which I'm gonna put in the EP later, right? So y'all can write this down, y'all can steal this. I do know for myself, right, that Golden Boy in DAZN and Metro America have been struggling, over here on this side. It's known over here on this side that Eddie Hearn he blew a lot of money. He overspent for a whole bunch of fighters, mainly Canelo Alvarez, to 350 million. People just gonna keep it right and say he overspent for Canelo Alvarez because that's who he overspent for, right? We know that it's not to sound disrespectful, right? But we all know that shit. Golden Boy is the worst promotional company in boxing. It has one of the best fighters to ever fight, right? Oscar De La Hoya running it, but it's one of the worst promotional companies in boxing. So when you add the fact that you got a struggling DAZN America and you got a struggling Golden Boy America, and then you all of a sudden you lose 2.3 and 21 when you get Canelo Alvarez, to come back to your platform off a bad deal. Now you got to come back and honor that bad deal that you had with him. You know what I mean? On top of your other companies, not doing so well, type deal. You add that, you add that, you add that with the fact that like I said, we already know Golden Boy and DAZN wasn't doing too hot over here. We know that soccer worldwide is a pretty popular sport. I think it's safe to assume, that the companies that we've been hearing about who've been doing terrible for the last couple of years are maybe a big part of the reason that company lost the 8.3 billion. You lost 4 off top. You lost 4 off top getting the franchises. He said they lost bread damn near every Camelot fight. I don't know if they necessarily lost. They lost bread because they had to pay Canelo too much. And the owner stated, in the thing that we made a lot of bad moves early, but now that we're more business savvy, we know better now. I think I'm not even saying that the Canelo fights was a tank, right? They lost a lot of their money just having to pay Canelo the money that Eddie Hearn guaranteed him. Eddie Hearn guaranteed him 350 million over 10 fights. He only fought 3 of the fights earlier. He got out of that contract, meaning he kept that 350 million. He came back, and now he's on the new deal to fight a certain amount of contracts. So they paying him a new deal now. Canelo got away with that 350 million. He was able to get out of that contract. He had a 10-fight contract. He fought 3 fights out of 10 of the fights. A1 Hoops on. What's good, pimping? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. TWT in the building. You know what I mean? So he got away. They gave him 350 million in the beginning. He got out of that contract after 3 fights, which means that was 350 million gone. He came back on the new deal. You know what I mean? So that's probably Canelo probably got goddamn 500 million, 800 million, 600 million out of them alone. Just him alone. He probably just spent about goddamn 300 million. He got about 250 million. You get what I'm saying? Canelo alone, I know it is a nice chunk of that. Not to mention Triple G, right? Not to mention Triple G. You know what I mean? Not to mention Devin Haney. Not to mention the Conor Benz, right? The the Katie Taylors. You know what I mean? He said, wasn't he making like 40, 50 million to fight? Yes, bro. Yes. Bad investments. I think when the owner was saying we made some mistakes earlier, but now we better understand the business, I think that's exactly what he was talking about. You know what I mean? That's exactly what he was talking about. Canelo Alvarez. People want to say DAZN overpaid for a lot of fighters. DAZN do be issuing out that bag, right? But mostly, they overpaid for Canelo, man. 350 million for 3 fights. That's $115 million a fight, man. That's overpaying. So I heard Canelo fights be breaking even or some shit, no real profit margin. I know, dude. Cause think about it. You had to pay him. You gave him 350 million there first. Now you got to pay him 40, $50 million a fight. There ain't gonna be a whole lot of room for profit. There ain't gonna be a whole lot of room for the profit. You get what I'm saying? But everything making sense to me. Like everything making sense now. You know what I mean? Why there seems to be, added interest on making big fights happen in 2023. And I ain't mad at it because I'm gonna reap the benefits directly from it. You know what I mean? But it's some urgency. It's some urgency with DAZN and Golden Boy. And I'm gonna talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. We go get them fights because it's urgency in DAZN and Golden Boy. That's exactly how I'm gonna tie it. These fights will happen. These fights will happen. It's the urgency with DAZN and Golden Boy amidst the $8.3 billion loss. You feel me? It got to be, man. We go cook on it, bro. I gotta do it on his own. I got to, because I gotta put it on wax, because somebody will come take my shit and then somebody will get him credit for it. So I gotta make sure I put that thing on wax just like that. Bare face. You know what I mean? Bare face. If they ain't already did it now, if y'all see somebody, hit on this, I actually want them to hit on this, right? Because we all go cook it different, right? But y'all let me know. But I'm actually set up that story as soon as I get off that bitch. As soon as I get off this joint. But that's wild, man. Yeah, I do believe we getting them fights now. I swear I do. I do believe we getting that Ryan Garcia Tank fight. I know. I do believe we getting that Canelo Bivol fight, right? And I do believe we getting that Virgil Ortiz Tenonis fight. Virgil Ortiz got to go get it. He got to go chase the title. He got to get the bag. So he got to go on fight Tenonis and then get that vacant title when Earl let it go, right? Goddamn Canelo Alvarez, he slick old DAZN. He old Eddie Hearn, right? For giving him all that money. You know what I mean? So he got to fight. You know what I mean? The fights that make sense. You know what I mean? Dimitri Bivol is the zone fighter. That way Eddie Hearn get to keep all that money in-house. He get to generate a lot of money off that. That'll put a dent. You know what I mean? He really won't put no dent in no fucking 8.3 billion, right? But he can at least show them that he making efforts, he making strides. You know what I mean? That he could make them money over time if they stay with him. You get what I'm saying? So he got to get that Bivol and Canelo fight. DAZN has, matter of fact, I'm gonna break it up into 2 EPs. I might do 30 minutes. I'm gonna talk about DAZN and Golden Boy and the fights that they need to make. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. You know what I mean? DAZN, Eddie Hearn has to have Canelo and Dimitri Bivol fight each other. You know what I mean? Golden Boy has to have Ryan Garcia and Tank and Virgil Ortiz be great. They have to. They reached. This is their year. It really feel like that. I think this article came out for a reason. You know what I mean? This article came out for a reason. This is the year. This is the make or break year for DAZN. That's what it's feeling like, man. For real. That's why it's so much urgency on to make these big fights. And I'm glad. And I'm glad. You know what I mean? I'm glad they feed to the fire. I'm glad that they putting articles out. You know what I mean? Like this. I had to do my due diligence. You know what I mean? And talk about it. And I think more people should, especially when you got Eddie Hearn out here, challenging black fighters and they thinking the ability in the ring. Say, oh yeah, or Tank Davis, or I like him because he doesn't think. He just goes out there and fight, and it works for him. You know what I mean? Taking the underhand jab and the underhand, you know what I mean? Underhand jab and the underhand, coming at him. Yeah, Yoda, they been hurting. But it's one thing to think that they hurting. It's another thing to know exactly how much they hurting for. I bet you nobody would have thought there was $8.3 billion in debt. You know what I mean? I bet you nobody would have thought there was $8.3 billion in debt. You know what I mean? And they say everybody's saying, oh, Ryan ain't gonna fight Tank. You know what I mean? Canelo ain't gonna fight Bivol, right? But now, what I'm saying is, they is gonna fight. They is gonna fight. I know they gonna fight now. I know they is. I know they gonna fight now because they ain't got no goddamn choice, because they gotta earn their bread and they gotta bring it back home because they gotta pay the piper. This debt ain't gonna fix itself. Dog, how long, right? And Yoda says something, they been hurting, bro. How long we been saying DAZN, going out of business? How long we been saying that Golden Boy, the worst promotional company in the game? We've been saying that since they started. We've been saying that for about 5 years, right? 5 years. Now the numbers come out that the company is $8.3 billion in debt. They lost $8.3 billion since 2016. So we've been saying that they've been hurting for about 5 years. The article come out 2023 that they in debt $8.3 billion. Now you got the Zone and Golden Boy out here trying to make the biggest fights possible. You know what? If they hadn't waited until 2023, they would have been able to make some money. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just issuing out money to their prospects and to their big fighters, they had been making these big fights. They would have been able to make a profit, and they wouldn't be $8.3 billion in debt. They in debt. They in debt because they ain't putting on these. They have lawsuits up the ass from fighters. Just all wrong. And again, Yoda, they try to tell you, they try to push the narrative that the PBC is the one who's stealing from their fighters. They try to push the narrative that the PBC is the one who going out of business. They try to push the narrative that the PBC is the one who not paying their fighters, right? But when you look at the facts, right, like my guy Yoda just said, check the lawsuits. You know what I mean? Check the stat books. Shit, now we know the official numbers, 8.3 billion in debt. When you check all the numbers, all them narratives that they spin on about the PBC and Al Heyman, all the things that they spin out and spin out about them, is really a projection tactic. You know what I mean? To try to cover up what's really going on with them. They the ones that's in debt. They the ones getting sued. They the ones that's in the red, like Bob Arum said. They constantly telling you about the PBC and what they doing, but you check these facts, you check these books, you listen to these people talk. Top Rank is the one in the red. The Zone is going out of business. The Zone is down $8.3 billion. You ain't never heard PBC come out and say, "Oh yeah, I'm in the red." You ain't never heard PBC come out and say, "Oh yeah, that fighter don't sell." You ain't never heard PBC come out, an investigation come out on the PBC about a federal investigation working with Daniel Killahan. You don't hear about the PBC getting sued by multiple fighters and all that shit. Has a fighter ever even sued the PBC yet? I'm gonna say it again. You don't hear about the PBC, getting sued for multiple lawsuits. Has a fighter even sued the PBC yet? But they want to tell you that the PBC, the ones who don't do good business, going out of business. I have to think not, man. Y'all do your boy a favor. 17 people in the building. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. I got 40 likes. Can I get everybody in here that ain't hit that thumbs up to hit that thumbs up and get your boy right? We in this thing having us a boxing conversation. Really appreciate everybody coming through. I ran across this report about DAZN Boxing losing $8.3 billion since 2016, and I had questions. The first question I had was, how the hell do you lose $8.3 billion? I found that question out. You lose $8.3 billion, right, by investing in four sports franchises, two soccer franchises, and he invested in DAZN and Golden Boy, $1 billion a piece, right? So that's $1 billion. Now, the other $4 billion lost, I'm just going to guess that the sports teams didn't do so hot, right? So there's how you lose $8.3 billion. My second question was, who in the hell has $8.3 billion to lose? The guy name is Lynn Jabelinix, Jen Jabelinix, Lynn Jabelinix is the majority owner of the Zone. He's the one that bought the soccer teams and invested in Matchroom and Golden Boy. You know what I mean? So he's the guy that has $8.3 million to blow. And what he said in this article was that the Zone and Matchroom, they're here to stay. He said, we made some mistakes early, but now we're more business savvy. We understand the business better. And, they're going to be better moving forward, basically. So he still has yet to pull the plug, you know what I mean, on these franchises just yet. But I just think it's wild. You know what I mean? You actually lose $8.3 billion. That's like $1 billion per year if you do the math. But he lost $2.3 billion in 2021. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get a little more in depth about this, you know what I mean, a little later, because I'm really intrigued by this. I learned a lot, you know what I mean, just sitting here reading this article, brainstorming a little bit on it. And what I mean, I'm a cook on it for sure, man. This the kind of shit. No, I ain't gonna lie. This intrigues me, right? This really does intrigue me. Stuff like this, especially when they out here sparing out this blasphemy and nonsense. You know about Al and the PBC doing all this projecting, but we clearly heard Bob say he's in the red, and we clearly see that the zone is having a terrible time. You know what I mean with their sports outlet, but you never heard that from the people that they saying going broke. You know what I mean? But I digress, man. The Zone Boxing, $8.3 billion in debt. We finally got an exact number on our quotes. Eddie Hearn and Golden Boy, the worst promotional companies. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn in the Zone been losing money for years. Eddie Hearn in the Zone been overpaying. Golden Boy, ain't never had a good fighter. How the Golden Boy steal a promotional company? Well, now we got a number to it, man. They didn't found out a way to lose $8.3 billion. Shit crazy. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. Skin that hard away Southern tea. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.